The following program is an NBC special presentation.
Live from Hollywood, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Tonight, we celebrate 23 years of late-night entertainment. This is Ed McMahon, along with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny with some highlights from the past. Some of the stars sharing our 23rd anniversary tonight are Jack Benny, Betty Goodman, Eddie Murphy, Burt Reynolds, Don Rickles, George C. Scott, Jimmy Stewart, Betty White, and in-person comedy performances by Gary Shandling, Ronnie Shakes, and Louie Anderson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Very nice of you, and I accept that applause for all the members of The Tonight Show. I thank you, really. Anyway, while your reaction is nice and that ovation is personally fulfilling, I was hoping for a watch. As Ed pointed out, this is our 23rd anniversary. I checked into the anniversaries. 25th is silver, correct? 50th is gold. I just found out a while ago what the 23rd is.
What?
Glad wrap. Now, we're walking out of the office tonight. My secretary, Drew Wilson, my assistant, said, "Gee, you look so wonderful." And I said, "We all look the same. Guys." Now, when women dress up formally, they look all beautiful gowns and so forth. Guys put on the same outfit. We look like professional mourners or something. Now, personally, the only time I wear a tuxedo is during my wedding. If I'm doing a television show. Obviously, you can tell this is not a wedding, because if this was my wedding, you would see somebody with an M16. So, now I came in from Malibu today to do the show here in Burbank, and I must apologize. The Ventura Freeway was backed up for miles, traffic, and I want to apologize to Bruce Springsteen, because I realized most of the people were driving here to see this show. So if Bruce's concert starts late tonight, he'll know there was people coming here. We are on prime time tonight. You know why they call it prime time?
No, why?
Because they don't dare call it U.S. choice. This is just prime time. You've all seen Back to the Future? All right. Tonight, this is full speed to the past. 23 years, I'm getting a little nervous. You ever heard that expression, 23 skidoo?
Oh, yeah.
No, not yet, no. 23 years on the air. 1962, when we started in October 1, 1962, was kind of a simpler time in television. The closest television came in those years to sex and violence was the day they let Julia Childs hack up a chicken. Do you know when I started the show, Dr. Ruth Westheimer was a virgin?
That's right, yes, I was.
When I started this show, Phil Donahue was just a teenager practicing in his room with a hand mic, running around, you know. The things that have happened in 23 years. When we started this program, Music fans call Pat Boone the boss. Get an idea? And by that time, the biggest scandal in baseball was Sandy Koufax eating pork. Now, those of you who remember the early days of television, I mean, television was different in those early days, right? They had shows like Name That Tune, Wheel of Fortune. The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal. I'll tell you, over the years, I've seen them come and go. And that's just in my house. But I want to tell you... Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one. In 1962, Ronald Reagan was on Death Valley Days, sitting behind a mule team. Now he's got the same view of Congress. Believe me, the President Reagan was going to be here tonight, but he's busy. He's negotiating with Moldavia for the release of Alexis. I had an interview the other day, and somebody asked me why the show has lasted so long. I really don't know. I think it's probably because, I don't mean this egoistically, but I guess I probably cater to all tastes. Now, for you satanic message buffs, if you run my monologues backwards, you'll come across jokes. We actually originated the first broadcast from the show, and we were there for 10 years in Studio 6B in New York City. We came out to California in 1972, and I love New York. I love California. It's a different lifestyle, though, here in California, right? It's laid back. Go to New York, what do they serve? Ball games, hot dogs and beer. You go to ball games out here, they sell quiche and artichokes with dill sauce. Something's wrong there. And New York streetwalkers are different. I mean, New York streetwalkers, for example, want cash. Out here, the ladies of the evening will give you 7.7% financing. Anyway, a lot of people connected with the show. A lot of the staff's been with us since we started. I do want to thank my producer, Peter LaSalle, my executive producer, Fred DeCordova, who has stuck with me through thick and thick. And through the years, I have learned to lean on Ed. And Ed has learned to lean on everything. Not good. Doc Severinsen's been with the show since it started. New York for 23 years, right?
Right.
A lot of guys in the band. A lot of guys in the band who have been to the show 10 or 15 years, right?
Yeah, right.
Tommy Newsom, I discovered about 20 years ago. He was, at that time, Tommy was a charisma coach to Bartles and James. And I was trying to figure out all the shows we'd done. Do you realize that over 65,000 times I have said to somebody on the show, does this film clip need setting up? And I think about 12,461 times I have said the following, we'll be right back, which we will. Tonight, we've got a lot of great moments in the Tonight Show for you. We have three of the most inventive, brightest young comedians who more or less got the start on the Tonight Show. Mr. Gary Shandling, Ronnie Shakes, and Louie Anderson are with us. So stay where you are. Thank you for coming, and we'll be right back.
Sir, once again. I don't like to interfere with your attire, but you have a little thread. Look at where does that go?
I don't know, but ouch. Anyway, we are back. We've got a lot of things to show you tonight. The problem when we put the show together is trying to figure out what to leave in and what not to show. A lot of people have their favorites, and if we don't show them, they get upset. And sometimes they'll say, oh, we saw that. But we just try to put things together to kind of represent some of the things that we had fun with the past 23 years. I've done President Reagan frequently on the show. First one we did, I think, was Mr. Reagan's Neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We had the president on Family Feud one night. And we did this, and the president's got a great sense of humor about it. As a matter of fact, I had Freddie DeCordova send Mrs. Reagan a picture to the president a couple of months ago where I was in full makeup, as you will see in a moment, and he signed it for me and sent it back. Great. So he's got a sense of humor. This sketch is one of the favorites of most people. They asked to see it. And what is it? It's President Reagan getting ready for a press conference. I should point out, is it Fred Holliday? Who was the other actor in here. And you should remember at the time we did this sketch, James Watt was then the Secretary of the Interior. So here's our first little look back into the past. President Reagan's press conference.
Well, now, would you send in Jim Baker, please?
Morning, Mr. President.
Well, good morning, Jim. Just sit down there.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, your press conference is scheduled to begin in an hour, so we only have a short time for me to brief you on the kind of subjects that the press may throw at you.
Well, now, the environment is on their minds, and I'm sure they'll ask me about my Secretary of the Interior.
What?
I said I'm sure they'll ask me about my Secretary of the Interior.
What?
Jim, I just told you I think they'll ask about my Secretary of the Interior.
James what? You're scheduled to go swimming with him tomorrow morning at the Y.
Where?
Why?
Why?
That's right. With what?
With what? I don't even know with who, Jim.
Not who, what?
Well, now, Jim, let's get this straight. I'm going swimming tomorrow with who?
What?
Where?
Why?
Jim, let's go on to the Middle East now. I'll need the first name of the head of the PLO, that Arafat guy.
Yes, sir.
I said I'll need the first name of the head of the PLO.
Yes, sir.
Jim, it's nice of you to be polite, but what is his name?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now, you're giving me two different answers, Jim. Now, what is his name?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now, I ask you what is the first name of the head of the PLO, and you tell me, no, sir.
That's right.
Then you tell me, yes, sir.
Absolutely. You got it.
I got what?
He's the Secretary of the Interior.
Jim, I don't understand why you're doing this to me.
Oval Office, Baker. Yes? You have the head of the Republic of China calling for the president. Premier Chung Dong-hu. Hold on. Mr. President, who's on the phone?
Well, now, Jim, I don't know who's on the phone.
That is correct.
What's correct?
No, he's your Secretary of the Interior.
Now, Jim, let's start all over here very quietly. Just tell me, Jim, who is on the phone?
Who is on the phone?
Who?
Yes, sir.
That Arafat guy is on the phone, Jim?
No, sir. Who is?
What?
Swimming tomorrow morning at the Y.
Quite frankly, I'm kind of glad that the president's going to be around for another 4 years so we can do some more sketches. He's fun to do. Well, moving along, excuse me. Now, over the years, occasionally on the show, we have paid tribute to two men, actually, who have achieved, I guess you'd say, the status of international sex symbols. And the next sketch you're going to see pays tribute to those two sex symbols. They are Burt Reynolds and our own Tommy Newsom. Burt, I know you thought that you came here tonight just as a, as a regular guest on our show, but Burt, we have fooled you because tonight, Burt Reynolds, international film star, #1 box office draw in the world, and all around macho stud. This is your life. Yes, Bert, I know. Surprise. Want you to relax. Enjoy yourself. We have a monitor out here. We have some pictures you want to watch. Yes, Bert, you were born Burton Wham Bamowski in the sleepy southern town of Waycross, Georgia, February 11th, 1936.
Oh, I'm sorry you said that.
You were born into a proud but promiscuous southern family. Burning with a fierce desire for show business stardom, you moved to the entertainment capital of the Southeast, Jupiter, Florida, where you posed, Bert, for your very first centerfold for Jack and Jill magazine. As you can see that. Now the year, Bert, is 1949. Harry Truman is in the White House. You are in junior high school. And you undergo your first tragedy. You didn't make it through puberty, but your sports shirt does. Now, Bert, you earn enough money from your summer job to make a down payment on an IQ. So, Bert, it's off to college, where you win a special varsity letter. Yes, we can't tell you what the letter is for, but you were doing really well with the ladies, Bert. All right. And then, Bert, you earn your first Hollywood job as an extra in the hit TV series Riverboat, where your job was to keep the sun off Darren McGavin's bald spot. Yes, Bert. That's right. This is your life. Yes, Tom? Born Thomas Tapioca Newsom in the sleepy southern seaport town of Portsmouth, Virginia, on February 25th, 1929. Appropriately enough, the year of the Great Depression. You were born to a proud but dull Virginia family. And Tommy, you are a direct descendant of a boring revolutionary hero, Nathan Hale Newsom, who, when captured by the British, said, "I regret that I have no life to give for my country." And at the age of 2, you were abandoned by your parents at Pismo Beach, California, and raised by a herd of wild clams. The year was 1941. War broke out, Tom, and you answered your nation's call. You volunteered. Yes, you volunteered Not drafted. You volunteered for an elite commando unit, the Polyester Berets. And at the time, General Douglas MacArthur said of you,
Private Tommy Newsom greatly helped the American war effort by parachuting behind enemy lines and staying there.
But then, Tom, came VJ Day. You returned a changed man to your hometown for a hero's welcome. Back home, you're no longer Private Newsom, you're Bachelor Newsom. You wander aimlessly from bar to cheap music hall, but there is no one for you until you meet Miss Wright, your very first love. Do you recognize this sound? No, don't recognize that. Well, you will when you see her. We've flown her all the way from a tire retreading plant in Akron, Ohio. Your very first love, your inflatable rubber woman. Look, Mr. Newsom. Tommy has been an awfully good sport over the years, being the butt of a lot of, common man jokes, but he is one of the most talented people I have ever met musically. He does a great number of the charts for the orchestrations in the orchestra. Superb musician. Thank you, Tom. Okay. Speaking of great musicians, if you were to draw up a list of the greatest musicians in the world, the next three people you were about to see, I don't think would make the list. They are Jimmy Stewart, my good friend, Freddie DeCordova's great friend, the late Jack Benny, and some young, very, very young drummer playing with Benny Goodman. Here is our tribute to music.
Give me A, will you please? That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the Mendelssohn Concerto, which runs 45 minutes. Do you know the vamp of it? Can you vamp already? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Try it. Do you know it? Not even my violin, you know. Is there any other selection?
Tempo. That's it, Benny. 1, 2. Jump in anyway. Tempo Benny. Thank you. That was fun. Tempo Benny?
Oh, you gotta be brave.
We got a lot of other things for you. Gary Shandling is here tonight, Ronnie Shakes, and Louie Anderson, along with a lot of other clips. We'll do this commercial. We shall return. We are back. Thank you. One of the real joys I get out, and I think Ed and all of us here get out of doing this show, is watching a new young comedian walk out on the stage here in one, as they say, and face a national audience for the first time. We've had many of them over the years who come out here and scored and have gone on to become fine professionals and big stars in their own right. Gary Shandling first appeared with us in 1981. As a matter of fact, just last week, I had a little eye infection. Gary filled in, and he's been appearing with Joan Rivers all over the country, and he's got a couple of hour-long specials coming up for Showtime. Would you welcome, please, Gary Shandling.
Thanks, that's nice. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on 23 years, Johnny and Ed together. That's your longest relationship, isn't it, Johnny? So anyway, you guys should move in. But, you know, I'm happy to be here. This is a special week for me because I hosted and my name is on the cover of TV Guide this week, which is, well, thank you for caring. That's, no, that's okay. Maybe it's just on mine. It's on that little address label, but still. So, now, this show's meant a lot to me through the years. I was 31 when I first did the show, and I'm 35 now, so I'm basically a legend here. And I'm right at that age, in the mid-30s, when you start to look like your folks. Have you gone through this yet? I mean, it is the most ironic thing in life. You give your folks a hard time. God gets even by making you look like them at some point. And you look bad in the morning as you get older. Have you woken up yet and looked like your driver's license picture? This is a very scary thing when you go, this really isn't such a bad shot, really. We should order some of these, honey. I mean, something happens, doesn't it, from the time you go to sleep till the time you wake up? It's like God comes in the middle of the night and says, we're going to mess you up for the morning there, pal. Have you guys ever gone to bed with a woman and you wake up and she looks like Ed Sullivan? Have you gone through this? You're going, whoa, I got to get out of here. And she's going, come on back here, Gary, take a bow. Some girl asked me last week if I had a nose job. Can you see this from where you... She said, have you had a nose job? I said, oh, yeah, when I had my lips done, I got my nose done. I said to the plastic surgeon, make me look goofy right in through here, would you please? And he did a great job. Same guy who does Letterman's teeth. And anyway, I look good. I was in Hawaii. I just got back. I went to a nude beach, which is, have you been to one of these things? You get that very strange tan. You get those white circles around your eyes from the binoculars. And then I went to the zoo, a very cheap zoo. They had dogs with antlers strapped to their heads. And, you know, people are going, get this elk off me, honey. And so I'm flying back, and I flew cheap airlines. It was like 400 people in the plane, and it's like $10 a piece. It's an ugly sight. And, it's like flying in a Winnebago. Have you been in one of these? And, in fact, they had decals on the window of every place the plane had been. You know what I'm talking about? I couldn't see out of my window because there was a big trout that said Idaho underneath it. So. And I'm getting off the plane, and a woman runs by me with wheels on the bottom of her suitcase. And she's moving. It's jacked up in the back. There's mags on this thing. And there's another woman racing her going, is that a Samsonite 250? That's a fast bag. Boy. And then the stewardess explains how to operate the seatbelt. Has anybody ever had difficulty figuring the seatbelt out? I mean, if you can't figure the seatbelt out on your own, don't even listen to the part about the oxygen mask. You're a dead person. This thing's gonna come down. You're gonna go, what the heck is... Hello? Hello? There's air coming out of my telephone, stewardess. So, I get home. I'm home, and for no good reason, because I'm alone. I live alone with my dog, who's 15. You know, he falls now when I ride him, and dogs get grosser each year as you get older. It's not a pretty story. I mean, do you think when you go to the bathroom, your dog's thinking, hey, I drink out of that thing? Why don't you just go in my dish and save yourself a walk down the hallway? I broke up with my girlfriend because we were having huge arguments over who was the most disappointed. And although I'm great in a relationship, I'm very loyal. I'm loyal in any relationship. Even when I go out with my mom, I don't look at other moms. You know, I don't go, oh, I wish that was my mom, you know. I wonder what her macaroni and cheese tastes like. And, I'm not weird. I'm not kinky sexually. Occasionally, I like to put on a robe and stand in front of a tennis ball machine. But hey, we all have our own thing. You know, take a few fast ones, have a cigarette. But hey, we all have our own thing. And I read about this stuff. In Playboy, it says rub oil on the other person. I've never done this in my life. I have a couple cans of Mobil 1 on my nightstand. You know, 30 and 40 weight, because I don't know what time of the year it's going to happen. But the truth is, the last girl I made love to actually applauded afterwards. Well, all right, the sign was on, but she would have applauded on her own anyway. But it's difficult. It's difficult meeting new women, and there's always that rejection factor. I went into a bar the other night and said to this girl, "What's your name?" She said, "Don't even bother." Oh, is that an Indian name? Because I'd like to meet Hot to Trot. Is she here by any chance? Women should approach guys because we're easy. Aren't we, guys? I mean, we're trying... Sure. Sure, I mean, if a woman says you want to go back to my apartment, we're not going to go, gee, I don't know. I'm retaining water, and I don't know. We're checking flight schedules to get there. Am I right, guys? And my mother used to fix me up with girls. You guys ever go through this? And they always look like your mother, which is not a pretty story. And your mother always had euphemisms. I'd go, well, what does she look like, Mom? My mother would go, well, she's a little big-boned. Well, what is she, a brontosaurus, Mom? How big is she? You know, and then my mother would say, no, she's got a complexion like ivory. I'm thinking, great, I got a big woman with tusks. That's great. Or the key phrase was, she's pretty in her own way. Do you remember that one? Well, then put her with her own kind, Mom, really. You guys are great. Thanks so much.
Jerry Shandling. Thank you, Jerry. That was Gary Shandling. Okay. Betty White joined us one night for a sketch. We wanted to see what Tarzan and Jane would behave like after they'd been married a number of years. Here's that sketch.
He didn't fix the ladder. He's late coming home from work. I'll bet that jungle jerk's out swinging with the boys again. Again?
Not Tarzan's fault. Vine controller strike. Tarzan almost had mid-air collision with orangutan. Man, it's a jungle out there.
This place is a mess. You haven't done any of your chores.
Little chore is woman's work. Tarzan only have one chore.
What's that?
Empty hippopotamus litter box.
You call yourself a provider. Will you look at this dump?
Tarzan good provider. Tarzan get job.
You're completely primitive. You're totally unskilled. You have the manners of a baboon and the IQ of an ape. Where could you possibly get a job?
Tarzan already been accepted at post office. As supervisor.
How do you expect to make anything of yourself when you sit around all day playing with a chimpanzee?
It worked for President Reagan. Where Tarzan's dinner?
I don't have your dinner, banana brain. I'm a person in my own right. I have better things to do. Send out for some pizza.
What their number?
I don't know. Call information.
If the number you need isn't in the phone book, please stay on the line.
I need Tarzan, king of jungle.
Big king you are. That wasn't exactly a royal performance you gave last night, King.
That never happened to Tarzan before.
Are you kidding? Even at your best with you, it's strictly wham, bam, thank you, Buana. Let's face it, you're not much of a man.
Oh, yeah? Quicksand chest? Tarzan, all man.
Then how come when you take a shower under the waterfall, the hyenas all stand around and laugh at you?
Hyenas always laugh.
Yes, but they don't usually point.
Don't talk about Tarzan's body. Him seen better jugs on top of native's head.
What have you accomplished today?
Tarzan go on hunt today with native warriors. Watusi, Maasai.
You bangy?
You betcha.
Oh!
All righty. All right, here are two people. Sometimes we have people on the show who are not professional entertainers, like Catherine Crumbly, who was the sheriff of Belmont County, Ohio, and Elizabeth Tasjian. She was the founder of the only museum in the country devoted to nuts. How are you, Sheriff?
Sit down if you care to.
So you brought your posse with you. Hey.
Right.
Are you a little uncomfortable? Would you like to take that off?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, I see. That's right. You got a nightstick there. You've got handcuffs, a gun.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Right. You want to help me?
Can I help you there? Sure.
You could even try it on.
This is your first problem as sheriff, obviously. Getting off your gun at night.
No, you have to. You have to.
So help me. I take an oath on no, I did not.
You unhooked the wrong thing.
I'm very sorry, Sheriff.
Put the hat on. Do everything. Put the hat on.
This is very heavy, you know that?
Put the hat on. There you go. Now put that on.
You know this is very heavy. What does all that weigh?
About 25 pounds. Right. You have to have heavy hips to carry it.
Oh, get in here. Why did you decide to have a museum? May I call you Elizabeth?
Yes, you may.
Yeah. Why did you decide to have a museum for nuts?
Well, I wish to establish the entity of the nut through art, music, history, and lore. And you'd be surprised. Nuts are more than snack treats. They're treats to the soul. In fact, they've been inspiring me to paint nuts and erase the demerit mark off nuts.
Right.
You could go even that far.
You think nuts have been getting
Well,
kind of bad
America likes
press?
nuts well enough.
In a way, right? You're trying to lift the nut from
Exactly.
the... Sure. Statue of deserves.
That's right. America likes nuts well enough to name streets after them.
That's right.
And even
Of course,
people,
Walnut, that's
you know,
probably the most
Hazel,
popular names, yes.
A child is named Hazel.
Right.
And you'll find during the intercourse that they are valuable.
You probably play a major role there.
I guess you by now know I'm a spokeswoman for the nuts.
Well, you're certainly right there. How many different kinds of... Okay. All right. Now we have... Once in a while, we have animals and birds on. And sometimes the birds talk. Very often, they come here and they don't do much of anything. This is an attempt to try to have some birds talk. Because in the office, they're great. When they come out here, you'll see what happens. Here are our feathered friends.
Hello, Freud.
Hello, Freud.
Hello, Freud.
He also changes his voice.
Oh, this is
Finally happened.
This is... How does the kitty go? Meow, meow?
Meow, meow, meow. Move the mic over.
The bird does impressions. How are you? Freud? How are you? How does the doggy go and she bark?
Call the kitty.
Call the kitty?
Say hi to her.
How do you call the kitty?
Call the kitty.
Well, how do you call the kitty?
Kitty, 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 kitty.
You saw it here on this show, a bird calling a cat. That's a gutsy bird. How does the duck go?
Ask him the duck again.
The duck. Quack, quack. Duck. How does the wolf go?
Like all good singers do before they sing, well, sometimes they like to warm up. Can you warm up for us? Warm up. Attaboy, Pancho.
Oh, we got a winner here.
Now.
We got a winner.
His first song is from the musical South Pacific, Bally High. Bally High. Attaboy, Pancho. How about I left my heart in San Francisco. No, Just because Johnny likes that one, huh? Okay, I left. No, I left.
What's this one's name?
That's Susie.
This is Susie. Hello. Just have to repeat sometimes?
No, he'll do it.
Oh.
Hello, Suze. Hello. Hello, Bird.
15 minutes. We got.
You just have to be
This bird better get cracking, Doctor. I know.
Hello, Suze.
Hello, Suze.
Come on, Suze, put your wings out.
Put your wings out. Well, sure, if you help him, you'll put him out.
That's it. Now, he just said hello.
Wait a minute, he just said hello, and my arm is locking, Doctor.
You can put him down. He's very well housebroken. He's not just too well suit broken, so hold him over the desk.
Hello.
Hello, Suze. Hello, Bird. Hello, Susie. Nina will talk.
Mm-hmm. With Nina, we'll talk, or we'll eat Nina. Good night. Just teasing. Look, animals sometimes, they come out, they're in a strange environment.
Yeah.
And the lights and the so
Hey,
forth.
no commercial would come and
Are the parrots different? Outside of color, obviously, which I can see.
This is not a parrot. This is a cockatoo, a sulfur-crested cockatoo.
I see. I didn't know that.
And these two are yellow-naped Amazons, which are among the better talking parrots.
Right. Hello. Susie.
Hello, Nino. Hello, Bird. Hello, Bird. I've been trying to get him to say he is Johnny for 2 weeks, but he just won't do it. Just won't do it. But we'll get him to sing. Hello, Bird. Hello, Nino. Hello, pretty bird. Now, this is Little Bird.
Oh, God. We could have shown still pictures down there. No, look. So do you judge the crowing by the how much they crow or how many times?
How many times in a half hour? There.
Little gift from his feathered colon there. But maybe he caught the monologue earlier or something. Okay, big deal. How do you get him to crow, Donna?
Well, I usually offer him some corn, and he usually crows. But you know...
When will that happen?
I'm afraid that... I'm afraid that somebody made book on him and throwed him one way or the other. Maybe he's not going to crow.
Maybe he's not going to crow.
Yeah, that's really what's got me worried.
That is a bad upset stomach. Let me point something out to you, Donna. We didn't bring him 1,800 miles to take a dump on my desk. All right, here's the night. Don Rickles hosted the show one night. He was taping across the hall doing CPO Sharkey, live in front of an audience. We found out he had busted the cigarette box, and Bobby followed me next door, right in the middle of his show, unbeknownst to him.
Uh-oh.
What the hell happened to this?
Well, as long as you've seen what happened.
You know how long I've had the cigarette box on this desk?
You brought that up from New York City?
I brought this from New York. What on earth?
It happened last night.
Who?
Don Rickles.
I did not see the show
Don Rickles
last.
did it last night.
You put me on now.
No. Don Rickles did it last night on the show.
What the hell did he do with it? The wood is broken. That's an heirloom.
Well,
Look, I've had that box from the seat where I sit here and I hit it with my pencils during the show to keep my sanity.
Well, I know.
I haven't broken that box.
Don Rickles...
How did he do it? What did he do?
Well, he was having a fit, you know, and he...
How could you tell? How could you tell? I just saw him in makeup getting ready to tape that FPO Harkey, or whatever.
CPO Shark.
CPO Shirky.
I don't know. He told a joke and it didn't go well, and he got upset, and he did a number.
Is he in?
He hit it. He hit it with his hand.
Is he taping now? What?
He's taping across the hall. CPO Shark.
Can I get over there? Can I get over there? Be right back. Come on. Just follow me. Is he in studio? Are they taping? Are they on the air? I don't give a damn if they're on the air. Open it up. Rickles, hold. Stop the taping. Stop the taping. Somebody broke my cigarette box. taping. I just started the show. I picked my box up off my desk that I've had for 9 years. My box is broken. They told me you broke it on the show last night.
Well, I really...
You big dummy.
Hey, a black man! Hey, you're a black man!
Hang him. What? You're right. Were you in the middle of something?
No, I was just hanging around waiting for a ship to come in.
Did you break this box?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Do you know how long I've had this box on the show? About 9 years. I brought this out from New York. Look at this. That is very expensive.
That's a darn shame. I'd give it to Tony Randall for a wedding gift.
And I want to know what you plan to do about this.
Well, I plan to wrap your hand in it. What do you want from me?
No, I'm sorry to come over and interrupt your show, but when I saw this, I got so incensed.
All right, it's millions of dollars. What do you care?
What do you mean? What are you doing?
That's yours. I'm just punching away here with 6 people trying to stay alive. That's all.
Millions of dollars? What are you doing with the money? This can't be it.
I get the feeling you're Dennis James and I'm a bad contestant.
Yeah. I hope you kept the cotton mill down south. If this show goes like the others, you're out of work come January. Well, I would expect a very expensive ship. Something to replace this.
A wonderful, large, wonderful, beautiful X-ray of your lungs.
Look, I didn't mean to interrupt your taping here because I know you're in your big dramatic scene.
You know, in your position today, you really are one of the biggest guys in the business.
Help me. I want my
Next Christmas, I'm going to make sure a tree drops on your head. No, but I'm sorry about the box.
Well, so am I.
I will come up with something.
Well, I hope so.
But just keep me on your show. You mean so much to me.
Certainly. No. Don't humble yourself in front of these people. Don't humble yourself in front of... I want something back. Okay, carry on. Carry on. Good to see you. Okay, we will take a break. We'll be back with Ronnie Shakes, Louie Anderson, and a lot of other clips. All right. Okay, our next comedian appearing live with us tonight started on The Tonight Show about 2 years ago. He used to own a restaurant before he went into comedy, and we're delighted he made that career move. Would you welcome, please, Ronnie Shakes. Ronnie?
Thank you so much. Oh, it's a great thrill to be here tonight. As if that wasn't enough, I got a great bargain today. I bought a $2 digital watch. It just flashes the word now. You can laugh, but it's very accurate. Pretty happy with that. As you can see, I'm from New York. Yeah, you don't get like this in Kansas City, no. I live in New York. I live in a maximum security building. Somebody broke into my apartment using the key from a canned ham. Yeah, a real professional job. We're allowed to have pets in our building, which is nice. I used to have a used dog. Yeah, a second-hand dog. One of these canines that the authorities employ to sniff out the contraband at airports. I took him for a walk on my nightboard. He hyperventilated. No more dog. Now I have fish, little guppies. Major problem with them is that they dart around so fast in that tank, you really can't appreciate them. So I poured a box of Jell-O into their water. Now you can appreciate them. It's like a fish ballet in there. Guppy Lake. Yeah, you guessed it. I'm in therapy. Seeing a psychiatrist. I've been seeing this guy for 14 years now. But he said something last week that just brought tears to my eyes. He said no hablo inglés. But you see, I have this problem in general with authority figures. I tend to panic much too easily. Once a cop spotted me jaywalking. I took hostages. They arrested me, took me down to jail, told me I was allowed one phone call. Nobody called. Of course, my problems all go back to my birth. I was born in a terrible hospital. I was a premature baby. They didn't have an incubator. Put me in a crock pot. No wonder I'm burned out. I was always very insecure as a child. When I was around like 8 years old, I asked my mother if I was adopted. She said yes. But they returned you. Nice to be home. But there are certain moments, I must admit, that solidify the father-son relationship. I recall when Dad taught me how to ride a bicycle. He said, Ronnie, come up to the roof. Gee, isn't it dangerous up there, Dad? Nah, there's no traffic. Well, like all parents, my father just wanted me to have better than him. He said, Ronnie, whatever you do, don't marry Mom. Pretty good advice. We had a saying around our house, where there's smoke, there's dinner. Mom was not a great cook, no. I'll never forget the time she mixed together tuna helper and hamburger helper. Tried to pass it off as surf and turf. I think she got her cooking habits from Grandma. I like Grandma, nice old gal, but a little morbid. She's the only person I've ever met that actually knows the words to taps. Oh, she's morbid. She reads the obituaries every day, then crosses the names out of the telephone book. Yeah, she keeps our directory right up to date. Information calls us now. It works out good. Grandma's getting up there. She's about 84 years old now. She recently had a pacemaker installed. We went ahead and put a dimmer switch on it. Now she starts ranting and raving, you just turn it down. On the other hand, you want to paint the house, you crank it all the way up. Thank you so much.
Ronnie Shakes. Wonderful stuff. Ronnie Shakes. A lot of times people complain about commercials on the show. Well, if it weren't for commercials, we wouldn't be here. I'd be putting price tags on light bulbs in Nebraska somewhere. Anyway, occasionally we bite the hand that feeds us, and here we are biting the hand that feeds us with some commercials the way you might like to see them just once.
Honey, I left our traveler's checks on top of my locker.
Oh, no.
No problem.
Oh, honey, this is Mr. Ito.
Please, don't get up.
Citizen Corp office right next door.
But these weren't Citizens Corp traveler's checks.
Oh, so sorry that I can't help you.
What will we do? Oh!
What will they do? What will they do?
Shame about Charlie passing away so suddenly.
Yeah, it sure is. Hey, I haven't seen you for quite a while. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been investing pretty heavily. My broker says the stock market's going to go right through the roof.
My broker says hold off buying for a while.
Well, my broker is E.F. Nutton, and E.F. Nutton says...
Well,
Will there be anything else for you today, Mrs. Wilson?
Yes, Mr. Goodman. I think I'll have another large tube of that Pest toothpaste.
Oh, you won't be sorry. Pest is absolutely the very best we have on the market today. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Mr. Goodman.
And what would you like today? A large tube of Pest.
I don't want any toothpaste, Mr. Goodman.
No toothpaste?
No toothpaste.
What do you want, Johnny?
Here's the bill. Last of the great ladies' men.
Here's the bill. A free man.
Yeah, for 15 more hours.
Come on.
Speed.
Come on, speech.
Hey, you guys. You're beautiful.
Screw it.
Especially you, Stan. So that I just didn't realize how really beautiful you were.
When the night is kind of special, let it be Lowenborn.
My pantyhose make me look like I'm not wearing nothing.
My pantyhose make me look like I'm not wearing nothing.
Now, hold it, you little teasers. Now, come on. Admit it, you're really wearing something, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm not.
Sir, how do you spell relief?
How do I spell relief? I spell it R-O-L-E-I. Come on, I'm going. I dare you to knock this battery off my shoulder. Come on, I double dare you.
Hi. Do you mind if I talk to you for just a minute? I just want to say a few words about diarrhea.
We'll be right back. Those three pies come in so perfect.
Okay, as you probably know, thank you. As you probably know, earlier this month, Pete Rose set a new record in baseball. It was just happened to be coincidentally that another record in show business was set just about that same time. So we'd like to show you a little of that.
What a night.
New record for show business. I was very proud. You know, I'm nervous, Harry. Tonight, during the monologue on this show, I told my 4,191st joke, which ties the record for comedians, which was set, I don't know whether you know this or not, but the record was set in 1928 by a, fantastic, legendary vaudeville comedian by the name of Henny Cobb. He got his 4,191st laugh in the Palace Theater in New York City in 1928, 57 years ago tonight. He set that record. I tied it tonight. And as a matter of fact, NBC managed to find a piece of old film from the archives of that performance that particular night, 57 years ago today, and we're going to show that to the studio audience first. That's where he set the record.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, now look, if you think that was funny, listen to this one. These two guys, you see, Pat and Mike, they're in the locker room at the golf club, you see, and they're changing their clothes after they played around the golf. So Mike takes off his shirt. Wait till you hear this. And Pat notices, you see, that Mike's wearing a brassiere. And he says, Mike, how long you been wearing a bra? And Mike says, this is the silliest thing. And Mike says, since last Saturday when my wife found it in the glove compartment.
Well, do you believe that? That was the actual film of him setting that record of 4,191 laughs, and, well, I'm going out there tonight to get 4,192 and break the record. Well, I'm nervous as can be. Wish me luck, Harry.
Go get him, champ.
Well, I hope we come back here and have a little champagne after this joke, okay? Okay. Hi, hey, gang. How you doing? Come on. Oh, 1,192. Thank you, Ray. Okay. I don't know. I'll do my best. We can do it. One more for the record, right? How you doing, Joe? Numero uno. I'm gonna try to do it. Hey, I got it. Hey, gang. Frank, how you doing? Frank, you good? Hi, gang. Thank you. Hey. Hi, thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. All right, Johnny. We're right with you, Johnny. Hey, gal. Thank you. I don't know. Do the best I can. Thank you, gang. Hi, Ken.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good. You excited?
I'm nervous.
Right.
Just want to break the record if I can.
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
Stand by.
Now, once again, here's Johnny.
Thank you very much and good evening. This lady's got a bad toothache and she has to go to the dentist and she doesn't want to go, so finally making her mind, she drives, she gets to the dentist, she's sitting in the office, and she's got a molar that's absolutely killing her. The dentist gets her in the chair and she looks at the doctor and says, you know, doctor, I'd rather have a baby than have this tooth pulled. And the doctor says, well, would you please make up your mind? I've got to adjust the chair. Another record. Okay. The old expression, what's in a name? Eddie Murphy was with us one night, and he had some thoughts on the subject.
You know, Johnny said something about buckwheat a little earlier. He was talking about buckwheat. And I did buckwheat on my show, right? And the name buckwheat, I started thinking, right? I'm from a predominantly black family. And I have yet to run into a relative named Buckwheat at a cookout, you know? You can't just walk off the streets and walk up to somebody and say, hey, how you doing? My name's Tom. What's yours? Oh, my name's Buckwheat, man. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Buckwheat. That's my name. No, I'm serious. I ain't got no last name. Buckwheat. That's it. I'm serious. You don't believe me? Ain't that right, Stymie? Yeah, it's my brother Stymie over here. And don't even want you to meet my other brother. Hold on. Farina! Yeah, Buckwheat and Farina. You know how most people name after their father? Me and Farina was named after their father's favorite breakfast. Buckwheat and Farina. My mama named all the kids after cereal, man. That's my little sister over there. Her name's Shredded Wheat. Yeah, and those are my twin brothers over there, Quisp and Quake, right there. And that's my littlest brother right there. He's a little slower than everybody else. His name is Special K. That's my big sister. She a prostitute. Her name is Trix. Stand next to her is my big brother. He's homosexual. His name is Lucky Charms. You might know.
Eddie was on the show another night when we had a guest that we hadn't met before. Her name was Jennifer Richards, and she caught us both by surprise, and you'll see why. I suppose,
John, am I too young to be here?
Yes, you should. I suppose you are used to that kind of reaction when somebody sees you for the first time in the flesh, as they say.
Yes, yes, indeed. Actually, I started to look like this when I was 9, and I...
You're kidding.
No. No, and, people tease me because they say I used to develop a cup of grade.
You have always been an early bloomer, we used to say. Does the word humongous mean anything? We're talking heavy-duty artillery here. You seem to be very good-natured about it, as well you might be.
Well, it's opened a lot of doors for me.
Yes, I would.
I think that once you get in the door, though, there are 9,000 other busty blondes who also got in the door.
Yeah, then you have to...
Your talent has to come through.
Where's this door at?
Yeah, where's this? Well, we couldn't resist doing a takeoff on probably a lady who's become about as well known as anybody in this country the past few years, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who does, I guess, television, a radio phone-in show about sexual problems. So here's our version of Dr. Ruth.
Okay Sex with Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth, I must say it is a real pleasure for me to meet you.
Well, thank you and welcome to my program, Okay Sex.
Doctor, tell me about your show.
The major problem with people today is communicating with each other. People ask me questions about sex. I give them answers, which helps them have okay sex.
You're such a tiny lady.
Beg your pardon?
You're such a tiny lady.
Shortness in itself should never detract from a healthy sexual life. Even though one is short, you can still go for the goal.
I see that the phone lines are jamming up. And I know our viewers would like to ask a lot of questions,
Yes,
all right?
well, let's take a few calls.
All right, here's our first caller.
Hello, you're on the air with Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth, is it all right for a man to make sounds while he's having sex?
Certainly it is all right, as long as you don't wake up your wife. Have the next caller, please.
I'm interested in getting into group sex.
Group sex, very interesting. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
There ain't much to tell. I'm 5'1" and I weigh 475 pounds.
Well, at 475 pounds, everything you do is group sex. Try to get a hold of yourself. I make a little joke occasionally.
Doctor, this is kind of personal, but how did you learn about sex?
I learned about sex the usual way, watching Dynasty. Joan Collins is a bitch. Hello, you're speaking with Dr. Ruth.
83. I'm 83
Excuse me.
years old, and I'm in a relationship with an 18-year-old college football player.
She's 83 years
Yes,
old.
I understand that she is 83, going with a young college player?
Yes.
Is the relationship platonic?
Oh, no, it's wild, all night, non-stop, raw animal sex.
I see. Well, what's the problem?
I'm worried. This kind of a non-stop physical activity, it could prove fatal.
Well, if he dies, he dies. It's an old joke, but I'm an old lady.
I have a question. I have a question, Doctor. Do people lose... My question, do people lose interest as they get older?
No, they do not. A 70-year-old man still has the same drive He just has more trouble finding his keys.
Well, thank you so much, Dr.
Well, thank you, and to all my viewers at home, here's wishing you okay sex.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth. We have to, we do the, what, the next one is the, yeah, Rambo's probably the hottest movie, I guess, of the century, and we did a little sketch, and here's a small portion of it, as if he was doing Mr. Rambo's Neighborhood.
Mr. Rambo's Neighborhood.
Hey, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hey, if you want to survive, you got to learn to let nobody push you around. Hey, I'm talking about not even your own mother. Hey, let's suppose your mom says, hey, why don't you pick up a toy? You say to her, hey, Mom, why don't you pick it up yourself? But here's what you do first. Yeah, you booby-trap it with a couple of pounds of plastic explosives. I rigged one to show you how it works. You put it back here. Your mom comes into your room to pick up your doll.
Commercial? Okay, we have a short break for commercial. We're coming right back. Louie Anderson's here tonight, too. Okay, when we do a sketch on The Tonight Show, whether it's the President Reagan sketch or the Tarzan or any of the sketches, we don't have the luxury of much rehearsal. We run them here one in the afternoon. Bobby Quinn puts them together. We don't reshoot anything. Sometimes they go great, and sometimes we'd like to reshoot it. Here are 3 little clips here where things didn't quite go the way they were supposed to.
You know, Miss Kitty, we've known each other here at the Long Branch for a heck of a long time, and, well, I guess it's no secret that I'm really sweet on you. How come we never go upstairs?
I've been meaning to confess something to you, Marshal.
Well, what's that, Kitty, darling?
Not Kitty. Jim Thompson. Thompson. Undercover Pinkerton. I'll bet you're glad we didn't go upstairs now, eh, Matt?
No, Kitty, because I got a surprise for you.
Take a look at that's pretty bad. Brandy, quick. Yeah.
No, Doc, you've got to operate.
I can't operate. I'm rusty.
Rusty, you've been oiled for 15 years, Doc.
Well, cough now. Again. Cough again. Cough again. How long you had that cough?
Doc, you got to give him a break. We know he is an outlaw.
Doc.
Like Bart.
Let me cough again, Doc.
It's good to see you, May I ask your name? Blah. Blah is your name? How'd you get a name like that?
When I was born, wait a minute, I'll go back in.
Anybody there? Yes. May I ask your name?
Blah!
Blah? How did you get a name like that?
When I was born, my parents took one look at me and said, blah!
Now, according to Dr. Leakey, you were the first man to walk on 2 feet. Why did you decide after millions of years to get up off all fours instead of that and stand on 2 feet?
What the hell did you say?
Yes. Okay. I'm glad you're in such a good mood tonight. This next young man, like Gary and Ronnie before us, the first time he was on the show, he absolutely broke the place up. Already he's landed himself a leading role in a motion picture. Would you welcome, please, Louie Anderson.
Good evening. How are you? I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad comedy is working out for me, so I don't have to go back to my former job, a male stripper at an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Yeah, people want you to get in shape and get... My doctor says, Louie, you got to lose some weight, so I got to get a new doctor. Everybody's into this health food. I can't eat it, that granola and trail mix. Have you ever looked at it? Remember when your mom would empty your cuffs when you were a kid? I am eating one health food, though, yogurt. Of course, I pour peanut M&Ms in there. And these people who run and jump, they are in such good shape. What do they think? The bomb's going to hit and go, oh, he's in shape. And isn't it true about every 3-4 months, the guy who invented the diet, did the run, he keels over? He's dead, but he looks good, doesn't he? Not me, I'm not walking anywhere. Bring that car around. If I go, I want to be found slumped over in the front seat. The Slurpee in one hand and a Big Mac in the other. He's dead, but he looks happy, doesn't he? Oh, sorry, I'm sweating, but if I don't, I'll explode. My favorite thing is when you go over to someone's house and you're fat, they overcompensate for it. Oh, come on in, Louie, and sit down here on this concrete sofa. Or the reinforced steel lawn furniture. Do what I do, head right for that wicker. And in California, being fat's the worst. There's only 3 of us. They have us on 8-hour shifts, so it works out. I tried to get into this California living. It never has worked out. I went down to the beach. Every time I'd lay down, people would push me back into the water. Hurry up, he's dying. I'm from Minnesota originally. I was just back here. Thank you very much. Minnesota, I went back there about 2 months ago. We had a lot of fun. Went camping. Of course, when I go camping, the bears put their food up in the trees. But I had that very strict Midwestern upbringing, very strict father, the kind of guy who didn't like people. We'd be in the family car driving down the street, and he'd spot somebody walking down the street that was a little different. Oh, he'd slow that car down. Look at that. For crying out loud. Get my rifle. Or he'd say things that made no sense to us as kids. You know, if I was the last person on Earth, some moron would turn left in front of me. And when he'd say that, too, if I was the last person on Earth, you'd always turn to your brother and go, wish he was, don't you? My dad, I heard that. You kids want to walk home from here? Well, yeah, we're in the garage. Don't get smart with me. When your dad would say that, don't get smart with me, weren't you always tempted to go, Am I acting stupid enough for you, Dad? I don't want to give you the wrong impression of my dad. You know, he never hit us. Carried a gun. Oh, he never shot us. He'd just go. Very effective, I'll tell you. I loved hassling my dad. I had a younger brother, and if you had a younger brother, you know what I mean, because you never had to hit them. You just get up in the morning, go down to breakfast, look across the table, do this. You do that, you'll hear this every time. Mom, Louie's looking at me again. And you love that. You go, oh, is it against the law to look at people? Look at Mom, does this bother you? You keep it up, all of a sudden. Jesus, he home today?
I want to thank Gary and Ronnie and Louie all for being here tonight. They're good for the show. Okay, some years back, do a commercial? We'll be back with Marcel Marceau and a barroom brawl and some other things. Okay, we got a couple more things for you. Marcel Marceau, the great French mime, has been a guest on this show over the years. I suppose a half a dozen times, and I try to do things with him. And one night he came on the show, and I guess I did the talking, and he gave me a hand. Well, he gave me two hands. Here's a little excerpt with Marcel Marceau.
There is maybe we could do something together.
Anything with you.
Well, if I would put my hands behind you, and you would talk, but not at all paying attention of what I'm doing, just
I
talking
just talk?
to the camera. It will be my hands and your voice, okay?
Oh, I
Put your
see.
hand behind.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Actually, we've got a wonderful show tonight with some great guests. And I want to tell you, I've been in the hairdressing business for about 20 years, and you guys... Oh, really? Really, it's wonderful, man. Now, tell you what we're going to do. We will do a commercial here, and then we will come right back. Now, what are we selling? Here it is right there. Here's a little look into a woman's world. For husbands from Serta and Ed McMahon. Oh, wait a minute. Ed's not there. Can you hold just a second? I don't know what got into me. Oh, my golly. Why were we... Oh, how silly. All right, now here's Ed, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. Okay. There's an old saying, a cliche, that in any tragedy, if you look under the unpleasantness of something, there is comedy. That has happened on this show occasionally. We have nights where you come out and there's no understanding why the audience is in a silly mood or things aren't going right, and you'll start something and maybe the monologue doesn't, then we come to the desk and we get deeper and deeper. And you just want to go home. And you got another 45 minutes of the show. Here's one of those nights where nothing just seemed to mesh together. A little tragedy. So, are you going to celebrate the
Yes.
Chinese New Year tonight?
Yes.
You will celebrate Arbor Day, won't you? Anything. How do you celebrate the Chinese New Year? Could take a friend to McDonald's for, what, Ox McNuggets? This is the year of the ox. Okay. I'm going to get swinging in a moment here. What else happened? Oh, Margaret Thatcher is not in town. She actually is in Washington and with meetings, and a reporter asked her what the biggest contribution that Great Britain has made. And she said, deporting Robin Leach.
Hello, 1, 2. Attention Kmart shoppers, aisle 34, garden hose and lawnmowers.
Messy, aren't they? When you tell your Irish grandmother that her corned beef is a little dry, she will jump to her death off a statue of Barry Fitzgerald. Robin Leach.
owl wearing a toupee makes a bad pet. Robin Leach. I'm gonna go through with this. Hard as a carp. Is this really frozen or is
No, it's a piece of wood.
What?
A piece of wood in there.
Well, that's not a good buy, is it? People want food. We should point out, if when you go to the supermarket and buy this, you do not get a piece of wood. We'd like to introduce a new sponsor.
Yes. What a nice welcome you have.
Fine, fine sponsor. Mrs. Pauls. She lost her husband, Mr. Paul. Mrs. Paul's light seafood. No, I got to get this right, because they're a new
Very
sponsor.
first appearance.
We'd like to welcome a new sponsor to the Tonight Show. Mrs. Paul's light soup. Mrs. Paul's light seafood entrees.
I remember that night.
Remember that night?
Oh, nothing went right.
Robin Leach. That started
that
it.
was the
and
whole
then on,
running
it was
thing.
right into the Grand Canyon. This next sketch goes back, 1968, 17 years ago? Yeah, we remember the show Virginian that was on? Very popular Western show with James Drury and Doug McClure. And I think we had the director, Andrew McLaughlin, on the show one night, and he was going to show how he staged a sketch, a stunt. And I said, well, I'd love to get involved. This is one of these things where we ran through it in the afternoon once and tried it that night. And for those of you who are just tuning in, the footage you're about to see is not news footage of Billy Martin out on the town or anything. This is a sketch from 1968 with James Drury and Doug McClure.
Give me a whiskey. Whiskey. That happens to be my drink. Give me a whiskey. Give me a whiskey. That's my whiskey.
Okay, we'll take a break. We're coming right back. We just have about, thank you. For those
those are just a few of the things that have taken place in the past 23 years. I do not have time to thank everybody, but at the end of this program, you will see a list of credits of all of the people who have made this show possible for the past 23 years, especially Ed and Doc and Peter and Freddie and the writers and our entire staff. It's been a nice 23 years. And more importantly, thank you very much, you watching at home and the people who come here in the studio, for staying with this show for all the 23 years, and we hope to stick around a while longer. Thank you in the studio, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.